It is approximately 11 p.m. on September 18, 1976. Citizens of Tehran, Iran are frightened by a large lighted orb circling above them. These are not the standard helicopters, military jets, and civilian aircraft which frequent the Iranian skies. At this time, Iran is a major U.S. ally in the Mideast. This is still 3 years away from the Islamic Revolution and the Ayatollah Khomeini's rise to power. Because Iran shares a border with the Soviet Union, the U.S. military provided training and state-of-the-art F-4 Phantom fighters to the Iranian Air Force.
The F-4E was what was used in the Jafari case. At that particular time, it was probably one of the best jets that could go out to do aerial engagements.
Shown for the first time on American television, the following are scenes from an Iranian TV movie about this UFO encounter. It starred some of the actual military personnel involved in this event, including Parviz Jafari, and used the actual control tower transcripts. Numerous UFO reports continue to come into the control tower at Mehrabad Airport. These are not military or commercial aircraft. Hussein Peruzi is in charge of the air traffic control tower. He has heard enough and notifies the Iranian Air Force. At 11:31 p.m., they scramble an F-4 from Cherokee Air Base, located in Hamadan, 175 miles southwest of Tehran. The first pilot, Captain Aziz Khani, takes off to investigate the object. 10 minutes later, the base orders another F-4 to be scrambled, this one piloted by Parviz Jafari.
Jafari was a major at that time, and he was vectored to intercept a strange light that was over Tehran.
I'm Parviz Jafari, a retired general from Iranian Air Force.
Jafari estimates the object is as large as a Boeing 707 jet.
He followed the light towards the Russian border when suddenly an object broke off from the light and headed towards Jafari's own plane.
I turned toward it. I put it on my 12 o'clock. I got close to it, and you can't imagine, all of a sudden, it jumped from here to here, just like that.
Based on his location, Jafari estimates the object has traveled almost 28 miles to his right in the blink of an eye. This movement was well beyond the capabilities of any man-made object.
I asked the tower if they have any flight. They said no, they don't have any flight overhead.
As Jafari continues his approach toward the object, he witnesses something incredible.
Something like a moon came out of it.
A second object came out of the first
Another object below the horizon and starts flying toward me.
This second orb-like object descends from beneath the triangular lights and races toward Jafari's F-4. Although Jafari is traveling at supersonic speed, this incoming craft streaks by his jet and circles him as if he's standing still.
Now imagine I'm flying to a speed of close of sound and something circling around me.
After circling Jafari's aircraft, the second orb now returns to the larger diamond-shaped craft, still hovering approximately 25 miles in the distance. For a moment, Jafari thinks he is out of danger, but to his astonishment, another orb has descended and is streaking directly toward his jet for the second time. Jafari now believes he is under attack. He reaches for his instrument panel to arm and fire an AIM-9 heat-seeking missile. But what happens next shocks him.
Green and red light should be both on so I could fire. When I looked back on the left side of the instrument panel, the weapon panel was out, no light on it.
Jafari believes that in the heat of combat with this UFO, it sent a massive pulse of electromagnetic energy toward his plane, temporarily disabling all of the onboard electronics, including the navigation equipment, avionics, and weapons systems. With a disabled missile system and no way to defend against this unknown object, Jafari considers ditching his plane.
I thought if it comes closer than 4 or 5 miles, I'm going to jump out.
But before Jafari has to make that fateful decision, the object reverses direction and once again returns to the larger craft.
When it moved away from me, I could see the main object there and went right underneath it and disappeared.
Having just endured a harrowing engagement with multiple UFOs over the dark skies north of Tehran, Major Jafari decides it is no longer safe to continue tracking this mysterious diamond-shaped object. He is granted permission to return to Tehran, but as he descends, he realizes a second chapter of his encounter is about to unfold.
When I was on descent, again another of these round-shaped shapes chasing me.
As Jafari descends for his approach to Mehrabad Airport, he sees another small object chasing from behind. On his final approach, he looks over his shoulder and witnesses the object descending toward the desert floor.
I could see all of the sands on the ground. It was so bright, so bright.
Jafari is diverted from landing and is ordered to identify the object that has appeared to touch down near the airbase. According to both military and civilian eyewitnesses, the object is believed to have crash-landed just outside of Shemiran, Iran.
In a very fast speed toward the ground, which I thought I will see a very, very big explosion. But it didn't happen. The object came right on the ground and stopped there.
Upon landing at Mehrabad Airport, Parviz Jafari knew he would have to soon debrief his commanders about the night's events. What he didn't realize is that the Iranian military weren't the only ones interested in his encounter.
One of the American colonel was listening to me, writing, taking note.
How deeply was the CIA involved in this case and its cover-up?
When Jafari landed, there were American CIA agents and an Air Force colonel waiting for him to debrief him.
Seen on television for the first time ever, the unclassified official military report. Why did this document go all the way to the White House? And what was found the next day at the crash site? Over Iran in 1976, Major Parviz Jafari has a harrowing dogfight encounter with what he thinks is a UFO. Upon landing, he was debriefed by high-ranking Iranian military officials. There was also an American CIA agent present. The agent filed a report, which is now unclassified, that was distributed to the CIA, the Air Force, the Secretary of State, the Secretary of Defense, and the White House. It was titled, quote, "Iran reported UFO sighting." According to the report, a UFO was seen about 11 p.m. on September 18, 1976. Besides Jafari's sighting, the control tower received, quote, 4 telephone calls from citizens living in the Shemiran area of Tehran, saying they had seen strange objects in the sky. Some reported a bird-like object, while others reported a helicopter. There were no helicopters airborne at that time. The report details and confirms Jafari's sighting, including the loss of his avionics. Quote, "As the F-4 approached a range of 25 nautical miles, he lost all instrumentation and communications." The report further confirms that 2 objects were seen, one as big as, quote, "a 707 tanker," and again, quote, "the second object headed straight toward the F-4 at a very fast rate of speed," and then, quote, "the pilot attempted to fire an AIM-9 missile at the object, but at that instant, his weapons control panel went off." and then, quote, initiated a turn and negative G dive to get away. In a very curious ending to this event, the Department of Defense report says that the next day, the crew was taken by helicopter to an area where the object was seen to crash land by local residents. According to the report, the landing area is, quote, being checked for possible radiation. Further information about this case either never came or remains classified.
I saw it, so I have to believe it.